Can you get back with your ex using the law of attraction? This is what we're going to cover today in this video. You will see that there are great things about this law of attraction. I'm not going to deny it, but at the same time, there are a few things that I feel are quite dangerous, and I want to warn you about those things because they don't work and they're not really proven to be working if we look at scientific studies. Because as you know, I'm more of a pragmatic person. I'm not a coach who believes in magical or that you can manifest your ex with incantation or stuff like that. But however, what we can use some stuff from the law of attraction. I'll explain everything after the jingle.
IGetMyExBack.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
So let's start with the three main laws of the law of attraction. The first one is like attracts likes. Nature abhors vacuum is the second one, and the third one is the present is always perfect. So the first one is very interesting because it's not necessarily the thing is that's why the law of attraction is quite debatable because it's kind of common sense anyway. So like attract likes, it's very interesting because the concept is you attract people who are like you. Which in a way, I find that it's kind of the same for me and my clients. I don't know why, but most of my clients, they have engineering background, they are consultant or they have their own business. And so we match in terms of our style. It doesn't mean that I can't help you if you're a painter or an artist, but it's interesting how people who are following my content are very analytical. They want to learn more about their relationship. They want to analyze things. So perhaps it's because of my style and we fit, the personality and how I approach things is relevant and it sort of click with you. There's another aspect of the law of attraction that I don't necessarily buy into is the idea that, yes, we are connected with people. For example, I'm going to detail afterwards what I mean by that. But they go a bit beyond saying like the thoughts produce vibration and those vibration you'll link with people who have the same vibration. It hasn't been proven, first of all. And so, yes, our brains create waves and vibration, that's a fact. But whether our thoughts would create the same vibration than other thoughts and that the negative thoughts have different vibration, it's kind of a shortcut. So when I do hypnotherapy, for example, the brain waves are, the theta waves, they are different than the normal waves. But then nobody is able to interpret whether this theta wave is negative, positive, painful, or stuff like that. It's just a wave, it's just a frequency. So yes, we produce different frequency. Whether we are able to align with those frequencies in vibration, honestly, I've adopted. It doesn't really matter because I think in all aspects, and that's maybe because I'm agnostic, and I think also the spiritual aspect of it is not really my thing. It doesn't prevent you from believing in it because when you believe in it, then you can act upon it and you can find the strength and the motivation to do that. So that's totally fine with me. But I'm quite skeptical with anything that's a bit spiritual. That's not my thing, basically. But of course, if you want to believe in those kind of things, that's totally right. I want to be wrong. I don't mind. Nature abhors a vacuum. The idea is that when you empty those negative things or emotions or thoughts, you are able to fill those with positive thinking. And the last one is the present is always perfect. Make today the best it can be. So very common sense, but we'll see. In those three things, I've managed to match with scientific things or scientific techniques, tools that are used by therapists, psychologists that do work with people. So what about your breakup? The thing is, your breakup, as you know, it creates a new painful reality. You might be suffering right now, you're a wreck, you don't find any motivation, everything is negative around you. And so, of course, you're looking for ways to manage this pain. That's why you're watching my content as well. Because you want to learn, you want to understand what's going on within yourself, you want to find solutions, you want to understand how you can connect with your ex. And that law of attraction seems very interesting because you just have to think very strongly about someone and you'll be able to attract someone. So manifesting my ex seems like a very good idea. It's kind of like a good promise. I'm just going to do incantation and vibrate the same vibration as my ex and she or he will come back. Of course, it's more It's more difficult than that. And so my take on this theory is really look at the evidence-based things from that theory. I will also sort of confront it with the experience from my clients, because sometimes things that are proven scientifically, when you apply it with people, it doesn't necessarily work. And I would remove the spiritual thing. As you see, it's not necessarily that I don't think you should believe in that thing, just not my thing. So I want to warn you about the pitfall of this approach. If you use it literally, the approach of the law of attraction, in your situation. For example, one of the arguments saying like you should not take the whole thing, you will never find any psychologist treating anxiety with the law of attraction. They will use some of these things we'll discuss, but I don't know any psychologist who has the secret, the book, law of attraction in their practice. Okay. So you won't get your ex back like that, unfortunately, and I'll explain you how you can get back your ex. I have actually 3 slides on that. Good things will happen to you, you simply need to desire them. You know, some people think like they watch videos or read content about law of attraction, it's like I just need to, you know, feel and want it more than ever, and that will work. The problem is, there's 2 reasons that it's very dangerous. You focus on the outcome and thinking like, I want to get back with my ex, and because I want this, it will happen. And the third thing is you might be trying to control things that you can't control. You cannot control your ex. My job is to really make sure that you position yourself and you influence the environment and how they see you, but you can't control your ex. You have to understand that. And what happens is when you have the thought process of like, if I want it enough, if it doesn't work, you feel like I'm not good enough. If it doesn't work, you feel like, you know, I'm doing something wrong, I should do it more. If you don't do it the right way, you think like, okay, maybe, again, it's that text I didn't send properly. He or he doesn't understand how I vibrate, how I want them back, how I'm craving for their love. And you create vicious circle, you create anxiety, and you create, and I've seen people in that case who are stuck like a broken record. 6 months, a year after a breakup, because they feel like, no, I don't understand. I want this badly and it doesn't work. There's something wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you. There's something wrong with your method. So the good learnings, and to be fair, to be fair, they were not invented by the secret, the book or the movie. And the law of attraction is something that's been going on for ages. Again, it's really common sense. You can't control the environment. Okay, so the law of attraction is really about here and now, and what you can control is your thought process. And so one application of this is the cognitive therapy. Is whenever you have a negative thought, a limited belief that you have in your head, thinking, I will never be able to date again. I'm not good enough. All these kind of thoughts that are subjective, yes, subjective, that you are creating in your head. The kind of thoughts that you produce in your head, and that, for example, if I were in the same situation as you, I would produce different things. So they're not based on reality, they are based on your interpretation of the reality. And sometimes people who have trauma, who have had difficult relationships in the past, they'll tend to use those thought processes and confirm that. And so to break the cycle, you can use cognitive therapy, for example. It used to treat some form of anxiety, and what it's creating is creates positivity from within you. So the idea is like, instead of trying to change the environment, because you can't, it's really about how you change the perception you have on that reality. So that's what I do with my clients. I work with them at really understanding their thought process, where they're coming from, the root cause, and really deconstruct those things. So they're sort of, instead of being controlled by those thoughts and emotions, they're able to control them. And that's a game changer. Regardless you want to get back with your ex, or if you want to move on, it's really a game changer, because that's what helps you to move on, what helps you to stop being in that cycle of sounding like a broken record. Number 3, there are a lot of non-verbal cues and sort of instinctive behavior. The likes attracts likes. Positive attracts positive. And it's true. In a way, one of the things you'll find after a breakup, if you want to feel better, surround yourself with positive people. Because in a way, laughing is kind of infectious. Being with nice people is infectious. And if you surround yourself with positive people, you'll feel more positive. We are the average of the 5 people who surround you, or we see the most. And it's true. I mean, there's tons of studies about that. So it's really about, again, being proactive rather than suffering and getting those thoughts or emotions controlling us, how you can be more proactive, how you can force yourself, and I know you don't necessarily feel like going out, how you can force yourself to surround yourself with positive people. Your self-talk, as we discussed, the anxiety can potentially result in an ongoing thought process. And one way to break that is mindfulness, really about being in the here and now, which was one of the concept of the law of attraction. That's why I think it's also very popular, because it's really the trend right now is being into mindfulness, because there's so many things going on in our head. There's so uncertainty in the world around us that we need to pause. You know, world is going so fast, and now with this breakup, it's an additional thing on your life, on top of the work, on top of the kids, the pandemic, the crisis, the whatever, technology, the social media. And so we feel that we have this deep need to press on the pause button, to reflect, and to understand our thought process, and to control them rather than them controlling us. So mindfulness, hypnotherapy can help you switch off. The third one is the scarcity effect. It's very interesting. It's almost like a philosophy. It's the idea of that everything is possible, that you can get everything you want because there's no limitation. Nothing will run out of order, out of stock. There's limitation to it, of course. It's not that I'm a pessimistic person. The law of attraction is very much optimistic. You can get whatever you want. You just need the motivation. But in terms of getting back with your ex, the problem a lot of people have, is that they have this scarcity effect. The fact that when they're seeking something you don't have, your ex, it's easy to get caught into that cycle of scarcity and lack. A lot of the people, they react very emotionally about the breakup because they feel that they're just missing someone. And maybe after a month, they sort of move on because they realize that strong emotion was just because I was lacking something, or because just she or he was not available. And you have the thought process, I will never find anyone like him. But focusing on your lack of love, lack of money, lack of happiness, reinforces that lack. And that's the problem you might have right now, perhaps, is like if you're stuck into trying to get back with your ex, you are reinforcing the fact that you are missing them, that they're the most important person in your life. I would argue that the most important person in your life is you right now. So of course you want to get them back, of course you want to invest a lot of your time and energy to try to get them back, but don't forget to take care of yourself, because that's the key element as well if you want to attract love. Attraction is about attraction. If you want to attract your ex, you have to be on your A game. You have to be very positive, right? So can you attract your ex back? There was a reason for this breakup, right? And you have to understand what went wrong, of course. Common sense, but some people, they kind of forget this. They go straight head down. They send love letters and gifts and stuff like that to our ex, thinking like it's going to fix everything. So first of all, really use that time for introspection, reflection. Determine if that can be fixed. Sometimes it doesn't. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you have a relationship that you can't recover. And sometimes you have exes that you shouldn't get really back with, right? I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So if you're not sure, you can take the quiz. I put together a quiz for you to know if you have any chance to get back with your ex, and then you can think about law of attraction and anything else. But try to, take that quiz. It takes 2 minutes. It's free. It's in the link is in the description, and it gives you a score telling you whether you have a chance or not. Moderate chance, no chance at all, or a strong chance to get back with your ex, and some tips along the way that can help you in your situation. If you have a score above 15, then it means there's always a way to bring back a relation back to its best years. What the test is assessing, the quiz is assessing, is whether your relationship was strong enough. If your relationship was strong enough, if what you had with your ex was unique, you can work at getting back together. It always works. It's just need about how you can ensure that it's possible. And then it's really depending on you, but it's not depending on the motivation and the thinking process. It's thinking about the work you'll put in, right? Can you attract your ex back? You need to ensure you improve some aspect of your life, okay? Create the right condition for your ex to believe this can work. This is what you're going to focus on. Of course, the thought process, you have to change the thought process, but for yourself, to initiate action, to initiate change, transformation. Of course, it's very high level, but it's more or less how it works. And it's high level because I can't really explain to you what I do with my clients every day, because it's different, because it's based on them, because it's tailored. But it's really about how you can bring yourself to a position where your ex will see, yeah, actually I was wrong. That decision was something that I did emotionally. Maybe I was wrong about him or her. I thought it couldn't work, but he or she can demonstrate that it can work. So it's really about changing or transforming yourself to that person, which is in a way easy because it's not about changing yourself, it's changing, be the person you were when you guys had a strong connection. And then it's convince them. And then it's really about showing them that work or being together can be efficient, can provide them happiness. And it's not scary to be together. Feel free to WhatsApp me if you have any question, because I know it's very high level, this slide, but it's honestly hundreds of hours of technique and strategies into one slide. So if you have any question about your situation, or if you just want to ask me a question, don't hesitate to WhatsApp. I'm going to wrap up with some tips, and I'd love to see also some debate. What do you think of the law of attraction before I wrap up? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's just like sort of salesy, scammy thing? Some tips, practical tips, again, things that are used by psychologists or therapists. Journaling, you can journal your thoughts to filter out the ones you don't need. So whenever you have this kind of thought process going on, you write it down. You write it down, and when you have something out, it also helps you to take some distance. Use mindfulness, download an app to listen to guided meditation or things like that, to be in the present moment, to stop those thinking process. Try hypnotherapy. So there's a lot of visualization aspect with the law of attraction. I think it's actually very beneficial to use visual strategies, and you can use hypnotherapy to do that. So either with me, with someone, find some content online, someone you trust, someone you trust and you want to try hypnotherapy. The idea of hypnotherapy is to really how you can change that thought process and align it with where you want to be. Because of course you're going to visualize, I'm going to run a marathon in 2 hours. It's about the expectation. But in any case, if you want to run a race, and actually I do hypnotherapy with people running marathon, I help them visualize the race. So of course you have to set your right expectation, but visualizing is also a great way for you to feel closer to your goal. And last but not least, I think it's also to find the tribe of people who can boost your self-esteem. People who are positive, as I mentioned, people who can boost your confidence. And I say a tribe because, of course, you can have a therapist, of course, you can work with me, but also finding like-minded people is very efficient, and that's why I've put together some groups as well. If you want to join like-minded people, I'm going to do some sort of masterclass of group coaching of people who want to understand, who want to learn together with like-minded people who are very caring for each other and very supportive. And I think that's it. There's a lot of things in this video, so don't hesitate to comment on the video. What do you think of law of attraction? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's a scam? What sort of things you will use in your situation? And don't hesitate to like as well. It does help me as well for the referencing. Take care. Bye-bye.
igetmyexback.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.